Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It's back at again. This is part two of trading with a moving average that I just did earlier in the day. I wanted to go back over because I kind of ran out of time. I wanted to go back over this thing with not moving averages, but with support and resistance drawn in, and you can see these support and resistance zones up here. There's your resistance zone in red and your support zone in green down here, okay? And this is your daily VWAP extensions, okay? These are extension zones where they're high probability support and resistance zones, okay? So I wanted to show you that in conjunction with the moving averages I showed you earlier. The moving average, like here's your 55 EMA moving average, and here's your extension to that, okay? And I had a question about an SMA, so let me change that to an SMA real quick here. Okay, now I've got a 55. The 55 EMA now, the SMA is in solid, like here, and you can see the thin one right here is the EMA. I made it a little bit thinner so it wouldn't stand out so as much, so you can see the difference. Like, for example, you can see the difference here. You can see the difference here. The EMA basically responds to price action better in terms of extensions, okay? Because your extension would be down here, so you'd be getting a better price down here than you would if you're just your 55 SMA. Your 55 SMA is here. Your 55 EMA is down here. So in this particular instance, the EMA definitely is going to do you a better job. And you know, when on the turns and the extensions, on the exponential moving average is going to be a little bit better when you get to the extended moves down in here and down in here, okay? Otherwise, the SMAs and the EMA, when they start to trend, they start to trend together like that, and that's why a lot of people will tell you the EMA and the SMA isn't gonna matter a whole lot. But if you're in chop, like you are down here, like you're in chop here, the exponential moving average will follow price a little bit better than the simple one. Okay, so let's go back to the 55 EMA. Okay, now we're back. All right, so what we're doing now is I'm looking at the extensions to the, and here's your VWAP. Here's that nice thick line there. There's your daily VWAP. Okay, your extensions. Here's your daily extensions, which are when this is flattening out. Here's another clue that you're not in a trend, that you're in a range-bound market, and these are going to likely be your ranges. Okay, so here we come down here. These flatten out. See how these are flattened out? That's basically pretty much a range-bound market. Okay, you're flattened out up here. You got a little bit of variation up here, but not a whole lot. See, what happens is when price action comes back around and they start flattening out and you start trading below that VWAP extension, great short. Take that great short and take it down here and then wait for the turnaround, okay, to go back to catch it back in. Now, what's nice about this is that you can use both of these, okay, if you want to. Sometimes I don't see that it makes a whole lot of difference except for this guy, okay, right here. See where the EMA, 55 EMA, the extension comes down and takes a turnaround there where it never even reaches down to the extension for the VWAP, daily VWAP extension. So that's basically a lot of it'll give you better trades here, and here, where you didn't even have a turnaround. You had one here, you had one down here, and then all the way back up here. If you were holding that trade until you were down here, then, and you took a second one off, like right here, okay? See how price action is running all over that VWAP? Sometimes, you know, the big boys know where that daily VWAP is, and they'll run right over it because they're thinking people are going to take off trades here and then reverse, or they're going to come back up here and then they're going to take a trade off right there. And see, they're just kind of running back and forth over it. The 55 EMA does quite a bit better job of catching those little turns. Now, if you want to see that for the general trend, see where it turned up right here? Well, your 55 EMA is already turned up. All these lines are already angling up. They're already turned up, so you know right here when it came back down and bounced off of the daily VWAP, and also bounced off Globex Open. You can definitely see that. Where if you were looking for like RTH Open, if you're looking at RTH Open, just that as one indicator, and people will tell you never ever trade with just one indicator. Okay, this basically told you here that there's no confluence there. Look at that. Look at that daily VWAP. Now it came back down and rejected off there. Right, rejected here, better price, almost the exact same price, but better price here for the long, better price here for the long. You kept your stops back. If you kept your stops back down here, then you were safe. Okay, and then came back down here, didn't even make it, make it to the Globex Open. Did not make it very far below the daily VWAP. Bounced back, and here we go, and it's Katie bar the door. Here we go, and we just went up from there. You can see where, and you can see where the sequence. Look at the sequence of pullbacks. Okay, a deeper pullback here, a shallower pullback here. That's your first indication. The shallower pullback here. That's the first indication that we're looking at a trend change. Second one, a higher low right here, trend change. Bounced off the daily VWAP, bounced off Globex Open, and up we went. There you go. And then there's the third one right there, bouncing off the middle of that, bouncing off that 55 EMA, and it just went north. Okay, and then now where are you going to go? Okay, so here's a lower high right here. You were up here, came back. It's like you're going back up. You're just following the trend. Okay, you're following the top of this guy because everything's trading, as I said in the last video, between the 55 EMA and the 55 EMA extension. It never came back down below that 55 EMA extension. Okay, so you're still good for the long. Okay, now it came back up here about 1 o'clock, turned around. Okay, now we had a little spike just like there, but we had a little spike like there. It was just you just pushed it up. So we had a little spike right there. Now we're starting to trend. See where that nice trend is? Okay, bounced off that 55 EMA just like it was going to go back up, just like it did before here, right? Just like it did here, just like it did here. Bounced off, came down, bounced off. Oh, guess what? And that next bar, what did that next bar do? Come down and say, we're not going up any higher. So you had a reject up here in that VWAP extension. Where'd we go? Back down. Boom. Trend change. Lower high. Trend change. There's your first indication. There's your second indication. Lower high. Okay. And people will tell you, watch for that. Watch that lower high. Watch for that lower high and then higher low. Trend change. Trend change right there. So if you'd taken that higher low, taken that trend change long from 45.72 all the way up to that lower high right around here, say at 4601 or 4600, I mean, that's 25 points. That's 25 points. That's a chunk of change. Okay, that's $1,250 per contract. That's two contracts. That's a $2,500 move from down here, and that was from about 11 o'clock, a little after 11 to from 11 to 2 o'clock, 2:30, somewhere around there. So that for 3.5 hours worth of work, that's not bad. $2,500 trade. Came back down. Now we're back down into our. Into here. Same type of trade. As I said. Okay. Bouncing off here. Comes down. Comes back up. Comes back up here. Down. Back up. Down. Back up. You're making all these higher lows above this guy. Now you're starting to trade basically above this guy and above the above all this nonsense down here. Okay, there's your VWAP extension. Or sorry, this is your 55 EMA extension. Okay, and I had to clean up some of this other, so I took off all the stuff. So all you're doing is looking at moving averages right now. Okay, you were looking at before just a confirmation where you came back down, but you could just use those moving averages as confirmation that you were coming back down. Okay, this is part 2. I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry this is a little bit disjointed. I'm trying to rush through this because I've got a 4 o'clock appointment that I'm coming up on in about 7 minutes. But again, your recap, 55 EMA, and then your daily VWAP, which is right here. You can see that you're trading above the daily VWAP. You're trading up into this zone right here between that 55 EMA and the top of the daily VWAP. Okay. Now see that, if you see that little puff, that little extension right there where they just pushed it up, and if you put it on a volume chart, you probably see that there wasn't a whole lot of volume there. Here's a nice push up, push up, push up, push up, push up. But you're not telling from price action where it's going to turn around until it comes back down here and makes that lower high. Because you're bouncing up here, you're going above, above, above. All these are above right there, and then there's your failure point right there, lower high, which basically means you don't necessarily need to get into a short, but you do need to get out of your long there, okay? And then just reevaluate. Then what happens in the next bar, everything turns red, turns down, turns red. Your 55 EMA turns red, and then you come back down here and bounce off. If you miss this guy, okay, you can just wait, because right back up here, I mean, you're starting to move up, but you're at the end of the, you're pretty much at the end of the day. So you're kind of out of time. So you could take the tops here, just take those, get off with the green candles, okay? That would be the best part there, but getting off the green candles, you're fine, okay? If you didn't see this, if you didn't take it off up here by some other means, you've got excessive volume, you got a volume spike, you've got order flow or whatever. So anyway, that's part 2. Guys, I hope this is helpful. Please leave a comment, do a like if you like it, or whatever, okay? See you guys on the flip side.